How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Figuring It Out Finance podcast, where I, your host, Chris Rickenbaugh, am documenting my journey in real estate and business while also talking a bit about travel hacking and personal finance. This is episode number 66, and we're going to be going over flip number 2 update and a couple of the subject to opportunities and some of the hurdles that I'm going through right now. But before we hop into that, go ahead and find me on TikTok and Instagram at Figuring It Out Finance. Go follow me on YouTube and go check out the website figuringitoutfinance.com, where you can find all of those links and the podcast as well. So jumping right into it today. So flip number 2, it's a quick update. Kitchen is starting to be put in, so that's going really well. The upstairs painting was finished. Flooring is being put in as we speak. Kitchen as well. And then we're getting held up a little bit on the permit. So we're trying to figure out that process. Hopefully it should get solved this week. And then over the next week, we'll be able to finish up that basement, which basically just needs drywall and a bathroom and lighting. So really, really getting close here. Probably a week and a half away. Hopefully sooner with, just being able to roll through these next couple steps. But otherwise, that's going really well. So one area where I did screw up is being able to put it on the card. So I do have all of the expenses tied up on an Amex card right now. So what I needed to do in the beginning was forward those payments a little bit. So the loan or the hard money lender that I use, they only supplied 75% of the renovation costs, where on the first one, they did a full 100%. So I have to go find that extra 25%, but what I didn't expect was that they were going to hold onto some of the funds until the entire thing is complete. So the problem I'm having now is, I'm going for a draw of 30,000 and they're only giving me 10. So I'm not being able to pay off that card, and I'm getting hit with a little bit of interest, and then we pretty much just maxed out that card, which is a little bit scary. But we know everything is going to be all right in the end. So once that house is sold, the interest is only about $300. So it's not anything that's going to really, really hurt. But it's just not fun. It's something unforeseen, and it's one of those things in real estate that I'm learning along the way. But being able to get some of this stuff done, I'm really just looking forward to getting the project done. But that's flip number 2 and a little bit more of the behind the scenes. So I'll probably be talking a little bit more about that as we're raising the funds for that extra 25%. So flip number 3, raising the funds for that. Lots of really good conversations with a lot of lenders. So, I'm hearing a lot of the same people, but the good thing is I'm starting to find a couple companies that I'm able to use in the future that are going to be able to give me a little bit better terms. So the one we're looking at right now is just about $53,000 to be able to close on this house, to where if I looked at this other company, it's going to be under 30. So that's that 20 to 25 grand difference. I mean, that's such a huge gap, to where we're going to be able to, save a lot more money, and we're going to be able to go and do a lot more with a lot less money. So say we could go do probably 3 flips with $100,000 line of credit or a loan from private lender. Instead, for this one flip, we're having to raise almost basically $60,000 just to do one where we're only going to profit about 20 grand. So, looking at the bigger picture of, we need to find better terms. Something that hurt us a little bit was, thinking that this company is the only one that can get it done, where there's other companies that can close as quick with better terms. So that's just something I'll have to keep in mind as we go forward on the flips. But lots of really good conversations. I'm learning so much through this process, and I'm going to be able to take that into the next deal, whether this works out or not. Because if it doesn't work out, then I'm only out $2,500. I'm not doing another flip to where I'm having to put it on a card or do something else. So that is the good thing is I'm just learning a lot right now. So those are the two flips going on. So flip number 2 is the one that's been going on for about 2 months now, and that's getting close to being done. And then flip number 3 is what we're raising funds for to be able to go and do. It only needs about $20,000 to $25,000 exterior work, ripping out some trees, painting the house, and some landscaping. Completely finished on the inside. So we're raising the funds to be able to do that, which will be a quick 1.5 to 2-week project. And then we're going to get that puppy back on the market. So lots of learning through these situations. And then going into subject to opportunities, which is something that, I educated myself on a while back and watching a lot of videos, trying to join communities, and then doing the expired listing calls. But now I'm actually having 2 of these opportunities with people on board that want to sell their house this way. So I just got off the phone with this guy, but he is, so this is going to be number 1. So I have 2 of these. So number 1, it's just a townhouse in Charlotte that this guy is looking to get rid of to be able to go buy another house. So he's saying that his name is still on the loan. For me, if I take over his mortgage, it's going to be a cash flowing Airbnb. It rents out about $5,000 per month on Airbnb. So I'll be able to do that, make it look nice, good community by the airport, great opportunity there. But his problem is he's trying to purchase another house that he's having built right now. So he needs his name off the loan. So what we can do is we can purchase that house through Subject 2 to be able to take over his mortgage, and then we're going to have it serviced by a servicing company. And then we're going to be able to take those 2 things to his new bank, and we're going to be able to present them and say, hey, he is not responsible for this mortgage anymore. I am. And then he's going to be able to they're going to be able to take that to be able to approve him for that new loan. So that's the conversation I have to have a little bit later today. Is I just have to explain that to the seller and then get in touch with his bank and explain what's going on. Because for me, trying to explain this to an agent, they haven't been exactly educated in that space to be able to present it, and where I can say, hey, this is all we need. And then to the seller, they're not going to understand like the little ins and out detail. All he sees is, I need my house sold and my name off this loan. But the problem is he has almost no equity in it to be able to sell it. So he's going to be coming to the closing table he's going to have to pay quite a bit of money at the closing table. So it's better this way. So we're saving him probably, I would say, around $15,000 that he's going to have to come out of pocket at the closing table. So I take care of his agent's commission. He pays the agent, loan them a little bit. So he's going to have to pay that agent, but he's going to be able to sell it this way and get approved for a new loan with that contract and the servicing company. So we're going to be able to get that taken care of. That's a conversation I have to have a little bit later today, but that's the plan. And then another one I'm really excited is a beach house in Carolina Beach that said, hey, we want somebody just to be able to take over this loan. So I had a meeting with them, and purchasing an Airbnb this way, you're not just purchasing a plain rental property. What you're doing is you're buying a business. So you're going to have to look a little bit deeper in. So a little bit about their situation. They bought it as a primary, and something changed with work to where they're not going to be able to live there. So they're like, all right, well, we might as well keep it as an Airbnb. And then, so they had a property management company, short-term property rental management company taking care of that property, and it was bleeding. no cash flow whatsoever. So being able to understand some of those things where, hey, we love the location of this. We'd like to be able to vacation here and have it cash flow or break even while we're not here. Problem is, that property management company was charging them $550 per stay. So let's say 4 families come and stay for a week every month. They're out over $2,000 that month. That's huge. And that doesn't even include the property management company's 20 to 24% fee per stay. So they are getting absolutely killed, probably $3,000 to $4,000 per month out of cash flow. So now we're having to look at their profit and loss statement or P&L statement to where we're going to be able to figure out exactly where, exactly where their house is at, because we have to see, how underwater are we every month? Are we $1,000? Are we $3,000? And then how much are we grossing per month? Because if we're able to rent that out monthly, it actually is probably about $4,000 to $5,000 a month. But if we're able to do that through Airbnb, it's going to be a little bit higher. We're going to be able to market it in different ways and put it out there for, extended stays, weekend stays, and we're going to be able to profit a little bit more just because we're in control. So that's a little bit interesting of what we're doing this week, and it's just not like analyzing a normal flip or a normal deal. So it's really fun. It's expanding the mindset with all of these things going on. So all the communication, trying to raise money, trying to negotiate these subject to opportunities, all while managing a flip where we're trying to get started on where we're just trying to finish up that one and then get our money out, or put it on the market, get our money out. There's a lot of money tied up right now, and that's where funding is our biggest problem. Because for the townhouse in Charlotte, if I pay this guy his $10,000 commission, we purchase that house, we throw some furniture in it, get it rented, and that's going to cash flow. This beach house, if we have a little bit of cash, that gives us a little bit of a buffer room on trying to figure out how to make this thing profitable once we look at those statements. Flip number 3, if we're able to assign that contract, that's going to be a little bit better for us, because I'll just be able to make $20,000 without having to do nothing, or I have to find about $60,000 to be able to flip it, and that means just more money tied up. So in a perfect world, we could do all these with funding, but without that funding right away, hopping on more calls, figuring out the best way to attack this, it's really expanding my mindset to be able to learn a ton, to where, if I have to give up the flip number 3 to be able to take on these subject to opportunities and fund the rest of the 25% for flip number 2, I would do that, because those 2 Airbnbs are going to be more profitable than this flip, over the course of a year. And then flip number 3, it's probably going to be tied up for a good 2 or 3 months to where we could get in to these 2 sub 2 opportunities and cash flow off the bat. So, just a lot of directions where these 2 opportunities could go, or these 3 opportunities could go. So lots of really good conversations and learning a ton. So that's going to wrap it up for episode number 66. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast episode, probably breaking down Man's Search for Meaning. One of the quotes in there really hit me this week. So I'll be back tomorrow with that. So this is Chris Rickenbaugh signing off for the Figuring It Out Finance podcast. We'll see you next time.